Today I will be painting in my journal. I make handmade journal papers, and we'll do a video on how to make those in the future, but today we're just going to record some bright colorful flowers in the journal with our Posca acrylic markers and other acrylic markers that I have on hand. And we'll be working from drawings that maybe we've sketched on a piece of paper, and we'll be able to get an idea of what we want to do in the journal today. These little journals are very handy because you can just pick up a small size journal, which this is about, I would say it's about 3 by 5 maybe inches, 4 by 6 maybe. And these journals are just the right size for a quick sketch. So today we will be working with these markers and sketching floral subject matter. That is something I really enjoy. And just in order to kind of loosen up and be able to do a daily art thing. I am at this point showing the different markers and the sketching that we'll do with a pencil. Here are some of the pages of the journal that I've worked on and have sketched in the past and just doodled, you might say, but did some kind of art. So I will work with both sheets of paper, both pages of the journal, and sketch this time. Sometimes I do not sketch. I just go straight in with shapes of color that will represent orange or yellow flowers. And sometimes I sketch so that I can maybe make a more precise type of flower instead of just a generic, you might say. This particular flower is something I picked up there from my sketch sheet. And as you can see, as I'm sketching it, I'm just slowly thinking as I go so that I can place the largest flowers and then work my background and the foliage around those major shapes. These markers often need to be pumped or pressed really hard up and down so that the paint will come out onto the applicator. So you can see me pushing down rapidly and consistently to try and get the color to come out. If I don't have a green that's got much in it, I will take the yellow and blue together and combine them, as you can see me doing here. I will start putting in the background and leaving some white to represent some stem shapes or leaf shapes or flowers that might be behind the main subject matter, the main flower. And so this pushes forward the warm color of the orange and the yellow, and the blue representing light in sky, and the green will be put into the background to represent some of the leaf shapes and some of the flower shapes. And here I am using the white to pick up on some of the blue as it's still damp and making a light blue behind this particular leaf and flower. So like I say, you can mix, especially the white will mix and make a lighter value. I just continue to work between the large and the small, or I should say the wide-tipped markers and the narrow-tipped markers, depending on what I need to do, whether I need to fill in a big space or use some more detail. So I'm working the whole painting or the whole drawing at once, and you'll see me here putting in a light blue on the petals of this flower, but later I decide that I don't want the blue flower, and you'll see me cover it with red. By covering it with the red, we will probably not make the same kind of strong color on top of the blue. Instead, it will be a little bit duller, and that's just fine as far as I'm concerned, because I like to make colors that are not really, you would say, tube colors or particular marker colors. By layering one over the other, we can get duller color, we can get a different color. Here you see me putting the red over the blue, and that red covers pretty well, so I'm not having to have too dull of a red if I was not wanting it to be a dull red, but maybe more of a bright red. Some of the colors will cover a lot better than other colors. I apply the colors very intuitively. In other words, I don't really have a plan. I just intuitively know that I need to see a certain color, more of a certain color, less of a certain color, and I just kind of work in sort of a spontaneous way, developing it and having no real plan. You can see how effective it is to use the negative space, in other words, the white of the paper, because you will be able to just have a lot going on in the background, but it won't be overwhelming. I love using negative shapes to be part of the composition. It just gives some depth and some variety and just the feeling of light. As you can see, I haven't worked very much on the left-hand side here with the drawing that I began on that particular page, but I am more concerned with finishing this one side so that you can see me finish it. And as you can see me finishing up here, I like to see the shape of the flower to the left that's on the page I'm working on. I like to see it a little bit different shape, so I went over it with the blue. And since the blue didn't cover that red real well, I'm working a kind of a purple tone into some of the other shapes just so that I can create a kind of harmony with not just having this purple in one area. So I'm mixing white and I'm mixing blue and red to create kind of a lilac, a dull lilac in some areas here. So you see me developing and introducing a new color, the lilac. And it can be done effectively. You might call it a mistake because I had to change the shape of a flower, but you know, it's just a painting or a drawing, a sketch in your sketchbook, and it's all about experimenting and just seeing what you can do. And if something doesn't feel right, put something over it, and if that doesn't work, you know, just keep layering, because acrylic paint is a wonderful paint when it comes to layering and developing depth in your creation. So I hope that you have enjoyed being with me as I have painted or drawn and painted, drawn and sketched, whatever you want to call it. I will finish up here and we will go into finishing that page to the left on another video, but I hope you enjoyed being with me today.